Hi there, readers. Welcome back. It's Miss A here. I'm so glad to see you, and I'm so glad you're back. If you take a peek at the screen today, you'll notice what we are focusing on is thinking about whether you would act the same way as characters we read about act. I don't know. Would you? Come on. Let's read our target today and find out. All right, here's our target. Get your arrow out of your quiver. Pull it back, look carefully at those words, and follow along. 1, 2, 3. I can express my opinion about how a character acts and relate it to my own life. Ooh, it's going to be a bullseye today, I can tell. Now, we talked a few weeks ago in one of our mini lessons about the difference between a fact and an opinion. So today, you see those red letters at the top of your screen say we are going to express our opinion about how a character acts. So if you're expressing your opinion, you are going to share your opinion, what you think about something, and specifically we're focusing on how a character acts. Then you're going to connect it back to your very own life. So let's give it a try. Now today, when we practice with some of the characters we are familiar with, who we've recently read, and when you get to practice on your very own, I want you to think about these 4 things that you see on your screen. One is, I want you to look at the picture clues carefully and notice character faces. The picture clues on character faces give you really good tips about how the character's acting. Number 2, I want you to look closely at the picture clues and notice how the character is moving. You can tell by this character's body and how she's moving her arms up and down, how she's acting. Number 3, I want you to listen to the words the character says. I chose Elephant and Piggy as our example because they do a lot of talking back and forth. So it might be in a graphic novel that you see a speech bubble. You might be able to notice the character talking, or it might be talking marks in your words. But if you look and listen carefully to a character's words, you can learn a lot about their actions and how they're feeling. And number 4, readers, I want you to notice what a character thinks. So again, this might be in a thinking bubble if you're reading a graphic novel, or it might be what you see the character doing with their body. It might be something that author writes in their words about what the character is thinking. So I want you to use these 4 clues to notice how a character's acting. Face, body, talking, and thinking. All right, here we go. So we are going to reread a little bit of the art lesson. Now this is one of our interactive read-alouds that you should hopefully recognize. We're not going to reread the whole thing, just one part where we can kind of zoom in on the main character, Tommy, and how he's acting. So while I read this to you, I want you to notice, how does Tommy act when Mrs. Bowers, the art teacher, tells the children to copy her drawing? And what do you think about the way that he's acting? Finally, the day of the art lesson came. Tommy could hardly sleep that night. The next morning, he hid the box of 64 crayons under his sweater and he went off to school. He was ready. The classroom door opened and in walked the art teacher. Miss Landers, his classroom teacher, said, "Class, this is Mrs. Bowers, the art teacher. Patty, who is our paper monitor this week, will give out 1 piece of paper to each of you. And remember, don't ruin it because it's the only piece you get. Now pay attention to Mrs. Bowers." "Class," Mrs. Bowers began, "because Thanksgiving is not too far away, we will learn to draw a pilgrim man, a pilgrim woman, and a turkey. Watch carefully and copy me." "Copy? Copy!" Tommy knew that real artists didn't copy. This was terrible. This was supposed to be a real art lesson. He folded his arms and he just sat there. Oh, notice the character's body. "Now, what's the matter?" Miss Landers asked. Tommy looked past her and he spoke right to Miss Bowers. I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, and my cousins told me that real artists don't copy. And besides, Miss Landers won't let me use my own 64 Crayola crayons. Now, readers, what do you think about Tommy and how he's acting when Miss Bowers gives them directions to copy her? What do you think about his behavior? I heard crossing his arms and sitting there. Now I have background knowledge from my own children and my own life that when this happens, someone is frustrated and stubborn and upset. They might even be angry. You know what, readers? I think Tommy is definitely feeling angry and frustrated because he can't use the materials that he wishes he could use. Show me a connection sign if you've ever felt frustrated for the same reason. Now, if you were Tommy, readers, would you act the same way with your teacher and your art teacher? Let's hear it. Oh, some of you would. Others of you maybe not. Okay. So what's your opinion about Tommy and his behavior? Is it okay? Is it not? I think his behavior seems pretty realistic in that story. And so I'm okay with it. He's not hurting anyone. He's not throwing a fit. He explains why he's frustrated. And I've felt frustrated before in my life too. So I understand why he feels that way. Let's look at another example. Come on, readers, here we go. Okay, I want you to think about in Pecan Pie Baby. We're going to read about Gia. And she's about to have a new sibling, so I think she has a lot of feelings and a lot of emotion happening. What do you notice about how Gia's acting? Would you act this way? We're just going to reread one page. When my cousins came for Thanksgiving, all anybody could talk about was baby this and baby that. I'm so sick of that ding-dang baby, I said. Remember, we can notice what characters say. That gives us a clue into how they're acting and feeling. She's kind of sounding frustrated. I'm making a connection to Tommy. She's sounding frustrated and angry for a very different reason. But I guess I didn't say it loud enough because everyone kept laughing and talking and making plans for when the baby got here. I'm so sick of that ding-dang baby! That's definitely something that she's saying. Remember, notice her body, her face, and any talking. In this talking bubble, it's in bold, and there's capital letters. Oh man, that tells me she's even yelling. Her actions are yelling. She has fists all tight. She has red cheeks. So her actions are telling me she's very angry. I think she's more angry than Tommy was. The whole table got quiet, and Mama sent me to my room. So readers, would you act like Gia if you were nervous about having a new sibling coming and you felt like all the attention was on this new baby brother or new baby sister? Some of you might have connections to Gia. That's maybe happened to you, and so you understand how she feels. How would you act in this situation at a big Thanksgiving dinner with family and friends? What would you do? Would you act similar to Gia, or would you act different from Gia? Would you? Oh. Okay, let's look at one more example. Big red lollipop. I want you to notice how the main character, Rubina, is acting. So remember, we're not rereading the whole book, but we are just tuning into a part where we can notice her actions as a character. Whoa, right away, when I look at her face, remember that's one of the 4 things that gives you clues? When I look at her face, I am noticing she looks very angry. And when I look at her body, she's holding something up high like she might throw it. Wow, I'm inferring she definitely might be angry when somebody has a mouth open yelling, eyes squinted, and about to throw something. I know they're angry, so I think she might be angry. In the morning, I get up early to have it. Santa's already up. When she sees me, she runs away. I open the fridge door. All that's left of my lollipop is a little triangle stuck to a stick. Santa! I hear a sound in the front hall closet. I should have known. That's where she always hides. Now look at her movement. You can tell by the illustrator's pictures that she's running and chasing her sister. I have background knowledge that in my house, when one of my boys is chasing one of their brothers, they're trying to get something and they might be mad because the other one has something. I shove aside the coats and boots. I'm going to get you! Quick as a rat, she scoots through my legs and runs around and around the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, yelling, Ami, Ami, help me, help me, help me! What do you notice about how Rubina's acting because her sister ate most of her lollipop? Yeah, I'm noticing she's very angry that her sister ate most of her lollipop. Now, would you act the same or would you act different, readers? Oh, some of you might act the same and some of you might act different. Why? These are the things I want you to think about as you dig into some Read to Self time today. So today, you're going to try this when you read. I want you to find a fiction book that you can read. Read the whole thing. You might even find one on Epic online, or you may have one nearby that you can read. After you read the whole thing, I want you to share what you noticed about a character. Would you act the same as them? Would you act different? And why? So it could sound something like this. I want you to tune in to our sentence stems over here because you can use these today when you come back to add your response to Seesaw. So today, when I read Big Red Lollipop, I noticed the character Rubina was so angry when she realized her sister ate her whole lollipop. She was so angry, she chased her sister around the house and she was yelling and she had clenched fists. I think when I was a kid, I would have acted this way because I would have been angry just like Rubina. I'd like to think I wouldn't chase my brothers or sisters around, but I might have. So this seems like a really realistic character to me because I think I would have done the same thing. So today, Maps, after you read a fiction text with a main character, come back here, click your green Add Response button on your Seesaw activity, share what did you read, who is the character, what did they do, and would you act the same way? Your teacher cannot wait to hear your response to your fiction text today. Awesome job today, readers. Have a good day.